Hey, welcome to Campy Quickies, a new series that we're somewhat starting for
Hi,
different reasons.
hi everybody.
Yeah,
Me,
and
Matthew. Yay. And the reason we're doing these right is because see, there are some movies we gotta do campy cast on. We're like, all right, gotta do a discussion. Because
mhm.
a new release, we're obligated to do new release because they make for interesting discussions. But sometimes we do a new release and it's like yawn,
Yeah, we just
boring. We
don't
don't have
really
much
know what to
to say.
pair it with at times, you know?
Lame. Go back to talking about other stuff. So it's like, you know what? We'll solve that issue by putting some of these movies we don't have much to say on in a podcast. Like, if you really want to know our thoughts, you can see them, even if they're like, not too much. You get our little taste, and this is going to be a
Yeah,
little taste of our thoughts on the newest DC film, Aquaman
yeah,
2,
but
baby.
before we
Woo,
get to that
yeah!
soon in less than a minute. So yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, we're definitely doing it because of that. But like another main reason is because, like I said, the uploading schedule is very inconsistent in a lot of ways. So it's like to the point where
We're
like
too busy. Yawn.
yeah, so if we just
Boring.
do a video on like one movie per se and have a minor discussion, it will give you guys like more content and it will lead to like just a tighter channel, you know? Well, obviously there will still be like new episodes. In fact, we have a new episode planned soon that'll probably come out like it'll
New
probably
episode
be
tomorrow, girls. You'll see it.
I mean maybe not like
Really.
exactly tomorrow, but like,
Well,
we're
but we're recording one
soon.
tomorrow at
Yeah,
the time of
you'll,
this. So.
yeah, you're gonna get it like in the
Yay.
next like couple days. So like, stay tuned for the next episode. So that's coming out soon as well. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and in
It'll be
general,
fun.
yeah. So those just gonna
Yeah.
be like,
Let's just say it might be a little racist, but other than that, it'll be fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, today we're going to be discussing the newest DC film, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, to start off this new Campy Cast
Ooh,
mini-sode quickie thing, uh,
Aquaman.
type of thing
All
that we're
right.
starting to do now. And yeah, so we saw Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, a sequel to Aquaman 2018, which is another movie we talked about on the podcast already.
In our
Um,
worst episode, by the way.
well,
But
yeah,
moving
it's not like it
forward.
was like a terrible one, but it was just kind of like one of those episodes where we were
Man,
like
that episode was so
unsure
funny 'cause we did
what to
like three
do with
movies,
it.
but I hadn't even watched one of them. Like, what was I doing?
Yeah,
Silly. I don't even know why we
it was like
included it.
a
Yeah,
weird
we had
early
Black Panther
stage
2 of that.
thing.
We would never do that now. We talk about a movie I haven't seen. Fucking crazy. And one of those movies was boring, but that's a
And then
discussion
there was
off screen
Aquaman,
for
which
another
was the
day.
only film
Hmm.
that was worth
The
talking
point
about
is
in that
right.
episode.
So Aquaman 2, I have been very excited for. I don't think I can't explain why to the viewing audience, but to simplify this as easy as possible, let's just say that there were a lot of bits made about this film in private groups that made me want to really see it. And I remember one day, this was like a week ago at this point, I was getting home from school, right? And I was like, I'm finally on break. What am I gonna do? I could watch anything, but it's like I was like laughing to myself. I was like, what if I, what if I watch Aquaman 2? And you know what I did? I put that fucking movie on, and I laughed a lot for like 10 minutes. But then I realized, oh yeah, I gotta finish this movie. And then I did, but it sucks. And it's lame. And that's it. I guess that's it. Aquaman 2 is a very bad movie. And I
Yeah,
don't like
I
it
have
very
some like interesting things to
much.
say about it. It's like it's also like the final DC EU movie, which is probably by complete fucking accident based off of the nightmare this
Yeah,
universe has
yeah.
been
Oh my
behind
god.
the
See,
scenes.
it's so man, it's so weird, right? Because they were like I remember when The Flash was out, that was supposed to be the end because it like resets the DC
Yeah.
EU. Oh like boom,
But then we also had
boom.
Blue
But
Beetle, and then we have this
mm,
now, and it's like,
yeah, that's Blue Beetles in the old DC universe. But I guess this
yeah,
is the final one, like for real now, which is very, very funny. But
yeah, very funny
see, I
that
don't
a
know, as a
stupid ass
movie,
Aquaman movie to
yeah,
end
I
this
guess to
universe.
recap my thoughts, I guess, in the first film. It's been a while since that episode, but Aquaman 1 is a very stupid movie. I kind of I kind of like it, but not as ironically fun as most people, but it has this stupid charm and how much it wants to be like a cool
Mhm.
movie, but it falls flat on its face. And that's kind of That's kind of funny to me, the silly Aquaman and Aquaman 2. I was like, man, can it recapture that like magic?
Yeah,
Can Aquaman 2 do it? Unfortunately, it didn't really for me because Aquaman 2 really, and I mean really, wants to be cool. Like this movie's so
yeah,
fucking try hard. It's very funny, and it's like the movie wants to seem as badass as possible in terms of like its story and its conflicts and whatever. And it doesn't really at all, and that's the biggest sin of this movie. Aquaman 2 is not fun. Nuh-uh. Even
yeah.
people who think Aquaman 1 is fun are not saying the same for 2.
Yeah, I
As is
noticed
coming
that, and
into
it's like
low.
the first film
Ooh
is
boy.
really funny, and it's solely because like it doesn't
What?
like take itself. It's just stupid. Okay, it takes itself weirdly seriously, and the film isn't really trying to be that cool or badass. It's just like it's like an intentionally hilarious movie in a lot of ways, and this film just doesn't like have that. It like has some of the same elements of the first film that are sort of funny here. Like it has the stupid soundtrack in places with the stupid sound effects that are used in some of the fight scenes, like the womp and stuff like that, and a lot of the stupid fight. It has some of that stupid shit, but it's like it's just not as fun or interesting, and
Mhm,
it's just kind of like whatever, you know. It's the plot is like it's like I don't know. The villain is back from the first movie. And he wasn't even the
mhm.
full villain. The real villain in that movie was Aquaman's brother, who was like redeemed in this movie. Because yeah, they're brothers, and they learn to become brothers by the end, which is kind of forced. Because I just did not
Oh
feel
man,
or buy
it's
their
so
relationship.
lame. Because I get the oh fuck the whole conflict of this movie. First of all, the beginning of this movie, I feel like barely anything happens. What was going on in those like first like 30 minutes? Not much to me. They set up Aquaman stand. He's like, oh my god, I like this opening so bad. Where he's Aquaman's like he does this generic narration, like I'm Aquaman, and ever since this, things have been a little different. And he's describing, oh, I'm the king now, but I don't really like it because it's boring, and it's like that's so lame. That's an introduction, but I'll get more to that later. But point is, they do the whole fuck the whole thing right where they're like, it's like, okay, so this bigger bad's coming in. So Aquaman's like, oh man, I gotta team up with my brother who I put in like hiding, right? And it's supposed to, sorry, my throat. It's supposed to be really dramatic, right? Because like, man, he has to team up with the bad guy from the last movie. Whoa! But in execution, it's just so lame. Like, like, it's so try hard, and it's not even fun. You'd think the Aquaman and the other Aquaman, his brother, would have more chemistry, but they don't really. So it's just kind of an
Yeah, they
awkward
just don't
movie.
have like the movie tries to make them have like this fun, buddy movie thing. It feels like they were attempting to do that like near the second half, I guess, right after he breaks him out of his prison. But like it doesn't really work and it's not believable. I don't
Yeah,
buy their
I know,
relationship at
right?
all, especially by the end when Aquaman learns to accept him. And there's like a
It's
funny
so
flashback where
fucking
there's like
awkward because despite literally bringing siblings, they have zero chemistry. That's what a lot of the movie relies on. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to be like, oh, Aquaman and his brother Orm, they got a fun dynamic. It's like a buddy comedy thing. One of them's a straight man, one of them's like the funny one. Wee woo. But it's like they don't play off each other well. Whatever quips they have aren't funny.
yeah.
And when they try to redeem him, and it's like, you're not him. What are you doing here? You silly goose. Get out of here.
Yeah, he's just
Vamos. Get
he,
out.
yeah, he
That's
just
silly.
like it just like I don't know, the two of them like learning to appreciate each other as brothers just doesn't feel natural. And there's only like two flashbacks. One was from the first film, the other was from this movie. The only two flashbacks where they had a moderately heartfelt moment. and then like that's it, and then they're brothers now, and it's just forced. I never really bought the
Yeah,
fact like
yeah,
they spend most of their journey bickering, and like they never really have much of like a moment. Like the journey just like goes by really fast between them, and then they go see the villain who is just. The villain in these movies, the freaking Black Manta guy, is just so funny to me. I don't know why. It's like
yeah,
they try to make they try so hard to make this villain cool. Like in the first film, he was just kind of embarrassing. Like he has that iconic line where he's like, "He killed my father," and it's like such an like I said, this movie
whoa,
also has.
oh my
Similar
god.
to the first film, the dialogue is still awkward and weird, and it's like just a weird thing with these movies in general. So like, yeah, it's stupid in that way, and it's just like the movie just has like little uh little like interesting stakes or anything cool about it. Like the visuals are bad as per usual. It is so easy to like the action in these movies in general are
My
just
god, those
awful.
fucking like action scenes near the end look atrocious. Like
Oh
what
my
am I even
god, there's
looking
so
at?
much shit. There's so much shit
Yeah.
happening at once. It's like a mess. Like there's all this water crap, all these sea monsters. It's too much. It's too much. Just calm down, man. Like it's just annoying after a while. Like and the first film had like this too. I don't know, it was just much more funnily executed in that movie. In general, there were
Yeah.
just rare moments where I got like an ironic laugh out of this. Like
I was mainly bored by Aquaman 2. To be perfectly honest, it was like, man, this isn't doing anything for me, to be honest. Like, I don't know. Fuck. Like, I like the, okay, I kind of like the villain in concept. He's like fine, but they barely do anything with him, so it's like, well, what am I supposed to feel about this? You're not even doing anything, you silly goose. So then I didn't get invested in him very much. The conflict, the way they resolve the fucking brother conflict is so bad. They're like they do like a small fake out, but it's like, oh no,
it
they
gets
learned
possessed by
something.
some evil
And
guy.
Orm, who's fucking enslaved for like killing people, just gets off scot free at the end, I guess.
Yep.
Cool. Aquaman also killed a bunch of people, so I guess I don't know why he's off free in these
Yeah,
movies
I
either.
don't know. It
But
killed
that's
like an entire civilization, just a bunch of innocent people who were just trying to
yeah,
fight
yeah.
for their
Aquaman just
tribe.
kind of does that. Silly
I
goose.
guess he does kind of
Yeah.
like I don't know, like in the first film he like just refused to help Black Manta's father, which is like kind of a I mean like I understand they were kind of jerks, but usually I like it when a superhero can show like you know nice traits by helping someone in need regardless of their morals. But in that movie, I guess Aquaman does kind of learn from that in this, but still, I don't know. I still don't find his arc in either of these movies that interesting or anything like that. It just, it's literally just I don't know. The Aquaman movies are just really stupid and goofy, and this movie is that too. Like, there's a lot of dumb stuff with this movie. Like, Aquaman's a father now, and yeah, the baby pisses in his face. That's there's that. I swear, was the baby CG? I swear I thought the baby was CG at some
I don't
point.
think the baby was the piss was probably
Oh
CG.
yeah,
The fucking
probably at this point.
CGI piss. Uh
Yeah, there was
I
also
don't know.
yeah, also Amber Heard, who is whose character was important to the
Whoopsies.
first
Amber
movie,
Heard.
is barely in
Uh
this movie, and it's
well, but
pretty easy
I
to
noticed
understand
that because
why.
during the fucking during the climax, right? The fucking the fucking climax, she just shows up. I was like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah, she
It was
doesn't
so
even do
unnatural.
much. Like it feels like they wanted her
Exactly,
to
because she
have
doesn't do anything wrong in
as
the movie.
little
Then she
input
shows
as
up near the end, and I'm like,
possible.
"Whoa, what are you doing?" Which I know why happened, because it's like, well, no one likes Amber Heard now. What? Oh, stinky. So they can't put her in the rest of the movie. But regardless, it was super weird, like pacing wise. Like, what even was that? It was so
Yeah.
odd.
Just an odd
but
decision because, like, in universe, it's like kind of
very,
confusing and
very
she
young.
barely
Yeah.
does anything. Honestly, she was in the movie more than I thought she would be. I thought they were gonna like just barely put her in it, and she was like she wasn't in it a lot. Like she was that. I feel like she would have been in it way more if it wasn't for the controversy. So they tried to like cut her and
Yeah,
make
no,
her.
100%. I
Yeah,
feel like she had a role that would have made her entrance in the climax more natural, but they're like, fuck, Amber Heard got canceled because of what happened with Johnny Depp. So they're like, all right, screw this. So they all got like
yeah.
pushed
In
aside.
general, I just saw like very little actual hype. I don't even think people cared about this movie because like Aquaman, the original Aquaman made like $1 billion. It was like a huge hit, probably like, and in general, it's like one
Mm.
of the more enjoyable DCEU movies, despite how bad it is. And it's like,
Low bar, but yeah,
yeah, and this
very
film
low
is
bar.
also bombing, like especially compared to the last one. And yeah, I mean it's doing better than I think it's doing better like than stuff like The Flash and Blue Beetle, but it's still doing bad. So it's like another DC flop. So
Whoa, 4 bombs 1 year. How fucking crazy.
yeah, and
Uh,
it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think people care about this anymore. Not to mention, like, what is the point of this? Like, I guess with spoilers, I guess, because of course it is. But like, the movie ends with Aquaman just kind of like uniting the surface world and the water world, Atlantis, and then like you feel like it feels like if there was gonna be a third film, it would be exploring that, but they're never gonna do that because the DCEU is ending because of James Gunn.
mm,
So yeah, this is the last time we see Jason Momoa playing Aquaman, but I heard that he's gonna be playing another character in the James Gunn's new DC universe. I've heard multiple rumors about that. So he's
mhm.
gonna be in DC movies, but he's just not gonna play Aquaman anymore. So
Yeah,
yep.
that's pretty crazy. I don't know, just I really don't have much additional to say, hence why this isn't a quickie video. But I don't know. I thought the only other part I kind of found funny was there was the ending, right, where Aquaman does a fucking Bayformers Optimus speech and then points at the camera and I was like, I am Aquaman. And then I cut the credits. I didn't see the after credit scene because it wasn't on my
Oh,
camera.
the after
But
credits scene was on the camera if I watched actually, and it was
oh, it
like,
was okay. It wasn't on
yeah,
mine. What was it
it was
like?
basically Orm eating like like a burger, and then like he picks up like a cockroach, which is which is like a reference to a joke Aquaman made with him earlier, and then he eats the cockroach in a burger, and that is the last scene in the entire DCEU.
Yeah, how sad is that?
Yeah, and
Ugh.
it's like this has just been such a depressing universe in every way. I definitely like maybe one day I'll just watch every DCEU movie, but yeah, this it's definitely awful. And in terms of like
Mhm.
other things I might have to say, it's pretty typical stuff, you know, the action is bad and overall the film is just kind of boring with not much like interesting stakes, you know. I just don't care about the characters or anything. It's just lame. I don't know
Yeah,
the whole thing. I don't take the
they
villain
really are that
seriously,
boring.
and I find it kind of
I
lame
just
that
figured
over
that.
time he just kind of
Mhm.
the villain's just kind of pathetic, and the only reason he's made stronger in
Oh,
this film
100%. It's
is
just
because
that.
he's just being controlled by this other evil force, which is like some king of the ocean. I already forgot. I just saw this movie today. I think his name was like he was just some king who like ruled the
Yeah, no, I
titular lost
forget.
kingdom
Yeah.
and stuff. And then he was like, he just kind of, I don't know. They used this. He used this like element that contributed to climate change and shit. And now the world is gonna be destroyed unless Aquaman uh
Mhm.
stops Black Manta and shit. And then Black Manta almost brutally stabs his baby as well. And he gets to fight him. The action scenes, it has a lot of the same problems the first film has from a technical standpoint in terms of like the visuals looking awful, the action set pieces, and overall way certain scenes are shot, like, such as like the escape scene where Aquaman saves his brother. It just weirdly shot just like the same technical issues the first film had, if I'm being honest. So yeah, and the story just doesn't
Yeah.
have like much interesting.
Oh, they set up
going
this
for
whole
it.
arc that's they do it so fucking obviously. Where the opening Aquaman's like, I'm the ruler of Atlantis,
Well,
but
it
it's
kind of
not as fun as
sucks.
it looks. And they do that whole thing
Yeah,
of like
because Aquaman hates
boring,
politics and he thinks
yawn, and then
it's boring. He hates politics.
yeah, and then it's so obviously setting up so that where it's like the old route was gonna go, Aquaman was gonna give it up, or he's gonna be like, nah, he had to learn what it was like to be a leader. And guess what he did? Yawn, boring, and
Yeah, I mean, I guess
the
the
movie
point of
ends.
the first film was kind of Aquaman reclaiming his throne, and now he finds it boring. So now he's got to learn to accept that role.
Yeah,
How
so so
interesting of
lame,
a
damn it.
character arc that doesn't
Lame,
really progress
boring.
interestingly. It's just a lame movie. This movie sucks. It's not like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I
yep.
was just hoping it'd be funny because the trailers of this movie actually looked pretty funny in some cases, but
Oh,
if you like actually watch it, it's like
and I never
it's pretty
watched
lame.
the. And it's funny. I mean this movie so much. I never watched the trailers.
Really?
Yeah,
Crazy.
literally, I never watched them.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't know. I kind of forgot this movie was coming out for a while. If it wasn't our group just joking about it so much, I probably would have
oh, I
watched
had
it.
this movie's date pegged in my mind, but for can I explain why, or are we not allowed to delve into that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that,
Did I?
but I guess you could do a
Ah.
brief mention if you want.
Okay, so let me explain. Okay, so oh god, okay, I've been waiting this entire discussion to say this. So for this was like a while ago, but my friend Dana, is friend of the podcast, created our most popular episode. You know him. He created he created this bit right where if you watch Aquaman 2, you either become you either become gay or you become homophobic, and this whole thing, and it's been like a whole thing for a while that there were these test screenings of the movie that make you like homophobic or whatever. This whole thing. So I've been waiting months for this movie to come out for this specific bit, and I was so disappointed because the movie came out and there's nothing like gay or like homophobic
Did you
related in
really
the movie.
expect them it to actually happen?
I
Like,
did. I like wished for it. I was like
it was
begging,
just
like if
such
I
a
wished hard
stupid
enough.
rumor he made up bizarrely. It was.
I was like praying on an evening star for it to happen. I was like, can it? And it didn't, but like it could have. And I was like, fingers crossed. But nothing ever really came of
Yeah,
that.
I don't
So,
know. Literally,
oh
the
well.
main thing that
Eh,
actually got me to laugh in this movie was the scene where Aquaman is chasing Black Manta in the seas, and there's just this awful looking ass slow-mo that just that's the
mm.
main part that made me laugh in this movie.
I do remember that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't really get much laughs out of this movie, to be like perfectly honest. It was like a
yeah.
real yawn, boring movie.
Yeah, in
But
terms of like acting in
yeah,
this
I'm
movie,
like,
which I know I already
uh,
mentioned, I don't know why, but the actor who played Aquaman's dad just felt very bored. I don't know if you got that same
Jason
vibe.
Momoa felt like he was walking for every scene. No one fucking cared. Like,
People
what are you
didn't give a
doing
shit
here?
about this movie. I don't
Yeah,
even think, like, I don't know who gives a shit. Nothing in this movie is gonna matter, and barely anything interesting
because
even
the
happens.
DCU is over.
Yeah,
It's
it's
done.
over.
None
Done.
of this
Nothing's
means
gonna come from it.
anything.
Yeah, they didn't even they just did a joke after credits scene because like imagine if they attempted to tease something like for absolutely no reason.
Yeah, yeah.
For a brief second, I thought when I
When
heard there was a post credit scene for this movie, I was like, wait, what? Why was there a bigger post credit scene for this movie? But of course, there
yeah,
was. I
I mean,
don't
it was a
know.
stupid joke, but still. I think that's everything I have to say, though. Do you got?
Yeah,
And
I
I don't
think
want to. It is a
so.
quickie, so I don't want to drag it out.
Yeah,
So,
I'm gonna give it. I'll just give it. We both have the same rating, so I'm just gonna say
yeah,
2 out
two
of
out of
10.
10 off
So
the board. It's better than the Flash, but
yeah,
still.
but yeah, it's not the it's not even the worst superhero movie of this year. There's like two superhero movies that are worse, if I'm being honest. So yeah, but it's still a terrible movie in nearly every way. Just watch the first film
Yeah.
if you want a good laugh because it just a lot more funny stuff happens and it tries it less to be badass and high. The
Mhm.
stakes are like I don't know, it's just a funnier movie in general in every way. Also, one mention I wanted to say is I noticed that they killed off Willem Dafoe's character, so Yep.
Really.
And I find it funny that
I
he
guess they
died
did.
from pollution, and that's what they imply in this
Rip.
movie. He just,
So
and that just
sad.
shows how funny the Aquaman world building is, which is why you should check out the first film because that delves deep into the movie, the world funnier. And the second one is just kind of like tired of it because, there's just nothing that funny or interesting about this movie, and I don't have much passion and feelings about it. It just sucks. So. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
no, this was
That's
short,
it.
but it is a quickie. So thank you for watching this little campy quickie. Stay tuned for the next Campy Cast episode coming soon. And yeah, see ya. Bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.